Welcome to the Stitch Guide. This video you can learn how to make the Crochet Waffle stitch. Isn't it lovely? Would make a lovely chunky knit blanket and or a jumper. I think it would look nice with ribbing along the bottom. So let's get started. I'm using DK acrylic yarn with a 4mm hook. We're going to start with a slip knot. And then we're going to work in a multiple of 3. Yeah, so I'm going to make 21 chains. You can make as many as you want, however long you want your sample to be. And I'll see you once I've made my chain. So I've made 21 chains, and this is how many stitches we're going to have. Yeah, so you're going to have a multiple of 3 stitches. And to make the first stitch, rather than just chain, we want a nice point at the end of our sample, on the corner of the sample. So we're going to chain 1, and then working in the second chain from the hook, we're going to make a US single, UK double, and then chain 1. And that just kind of anchors it into that chain. And it will look neater at the end. So then we're going to go across and make a US double, UK treble into each chain. So you'll have a total of 21 stitches, or a multiple of 3, including that first stitch we made. So you can press pause if you're making along with me. And I'll see you at the end of the row. So I've made my 21 stitches, and we're now going to start the second row. So one thing to bear in mind is this is the row we've just made. The first row is actually the wrong side of the work. So we're going to chain 2, and we're now going to turn, and this is now the right side of the work. That chain 2 counts as our first stitch. So we're going to yarn over, we're going to skip the first stitch, working into the second stitch. We're going to make a front post, US double, UK treble. So all the stitches in this pattern are US doubles, UK trebles. Some of them are just standard stitches and some of them are front posts. So we're going to make a front post here. And then for the next 2 stitches, they're just going to be normal US doubles, UK trebles into the stitch top. And that's our repeat. So we make 1 front post, and then 2 standard stitches. So that's how it looks so far. You can see those raised stitches are starting to form the pattern. Yeah? So we're just going to go all the way along like so, yeah, making 1 front post and then 2 normal stitches. So you can press pause if you're making along with me, and I'll see you at the end of the row. So when you get to the end of the row on your sample, you'll have made that front post, and then there's 1 stitch left, the stitch we made at the beginning, the first stitch we made. So we're going to make a US double, UK treble into the chain we made, that top chain when we made the starting stitch. Oops. There we go. And that's the end of row 2. Yeah, you can see the pattern taking shape. So that's the first row of the repeat we've just made. It's just a 2-row repeat. So the second row, we're going to chain 2. This counts as our first stitch. Turn the work. We're now working on the back of the design. Yeah, this work has a front and back. It's not reversible. So again, we skip the first stitch, and we're going to make a US double, UK treble into the top of the second stitch. Yeah, we're now going to make 2 front post stitches around the next 2 stitches. Yes, so that's 1 around the first stitch and then 2 around the second stitch, and that's our repeat. Yeah, so we're going to do that again. We're going to go into the next stitch. It's just a normal standard US double, UK treble, and then the next 2 stitches are front post stitches. So that's 1 and 2, and we're going to go all the way along, and if you turn you can see how that's building the pattern. Yeah, so let's go all the way along to the end. You can pause the video and I'll see you at the end of the row. So when we get to the end of the row, we'll have made 2 front posts, 1 standard stitch, and then we're going to make the last stitch into the second chain of the 2 chains we made at the beginning of the last row. Whoops. There we go. And chain 2, turn the work. So we're back to the right side of the work, which is a repeat of row 2, and you can just keep going for as long as you want. So I'm going to do a few more rows here. So I've carried on for a few more rows, and I finished on a right side facing. So to remember the pattern, the right side, it's a raised stitch, a front post with 2 standard stitches, and then on the back of the work it's 1 standard stitch with 2 raised stitches. It looks great, doesn't it? It would work nice as a pot holder. Well, I'll see you in the next video.